Hi, this is Matt with AppliancePartsPros.com. Today we'll be showing you how to repair your appliance. Remember, anytime you work on an appliance, make sure it's unplugged or the circuit breakers are off so there's no chance of electrocution. In this video we're going to show you how to change out the Whirlpool wet dryer shafts. It's going to be a very easy repair and should only take a few minutes to show you how to do it. If you already have these, great. If not, you can get them at AppliancePartsPros.com. When you open up the packages, you're going to get the new shafts. The shafts are what the drum support rollers actually ride on to support the drum. The main reason to be changing them out is if they've gotten flat spots on them and the rollers won't spin. In order to get to the part, we have to take off the top of the machine. It's held in on the back with 3/4 inch screws, which we can take out to get the top off. Once you have the screws out, you can pull back a little bit on the top and lift it off the machine. Now that we have the top off, we can remove the console. So first we have to take out these 3 screws that hold in the computer board. Now that we have the screws out, we can take this panel and rotate it upwards. And we can remove the 2 ribbon cables with a small flathead screwdriver. You just press on the locking tabs and pull them out. Now we can remove the 2 screws that hold in the console. Now that we have the screws out, we can open up the door, and you need to grab the console like this and flex it towards you so the tabs that are holding the console in place release, and then you can lift it out. As long as we have the door open, we can take the lint screen out because we have to remove the lint duct. And then we can close the door. We're going to remove the access panel. It's held in by 2 1/4 inch screws, 1 in each corner. We have to remove this duct, so we have to first remove this bracket. The mounting screw is back here, and 2 screws on the top. They're all 1/4 inch, so we're going to use our nut driver and take them out. Now that we have the lint duct housing out, we can disconnect the moisture sensor wiring harness. If you have to, take a small screwdriver and pop it apart. There's little tabs on each side to release it. Last thing we have to do before we can pull the front off is remove the door switch wire harness. It's this 3-wire connector right here. Again, you can take a small screwdriver and release the tabs and pull it off. Now we can remove the front panel. All we have to do is remove these 2 lower screws. Now that we have the lower screws off, we can take off the 2 upper screws. They're behind the front panel. Now that we have the 2 back screws out, we can loosen up these 2 front screws. You don't have to take them all the way out. Just loosen them up about halfway so we can lift off the front panel. Now that we have the front panel off, we have more access and we can move this drum a little bit up out of the way, and we can reach back inside and take the belt off. You need to reach back and find the idler pulley and pull it back to release the tension on the belt so you can get it off the motor pulley. Now that we have the belt off the idler pulley, we can use the belt to lift up the drum and guide it out of the dryer. There's 4 drum support roller shafts in the dryer. There's 2 in the front and 2 in the rear. The 2 in the front are short ones and the 2 in the rear are long. They're all changed pretty much the same way. You have to get in here with a small flathead screwdriver and remove the upper tri-ring. Then you can lift the drum support roller off. Now that we have the roller out of the way, we can come in with our pliers and hold the shaft and grab our 9/16 inch socket and take the bolt off, or the nut off on the back. Once you get it loosened up, you can probably turn it with your hand. Make sure you don't lose the washers. Now that we have it out of the dryer, we can just snap this second tri-ring off. Here's the old shaft next to the new shaft. If you already have one of these, great. If not, you can get them at appliancepartspros.com. The only difference between the rear and the front ones are that the rear ones are longer. All right, now we can put the new shaft in. We're going to reinstall the bottom tri-ring and put a washer on this side. Put it through the panel and then put our washer and nut on the back side. Once we have it tightened down, we can use our wrench and pliers to tighten it down nice and good. Then we can replace the drum support roller and put on the upper tri-ring. The rear shafts are changed out the same way as the front ones. They're held on by the same size nut. This one over here you can kind of get behind and take it off. But this one's really tight, and you may actually have to pull the back panel off in order to get to the nuts from the back side. Now we can put the drum back in the dryer. When you put it in, you want to make sure that the rear of the drum rests on these rollers. You may see a black line where your old belt was riding. You want to put it right on that same line. And you want to make sure that the grooves are down and the colored part is up. Remember when you're putting the drum back in the dryer to make sure that this little silver tab is towards the front of the dryer. Now we're going to reach underneath the drum and run the belt through the pulleys. And we want to take and put the belt over the top of the idler pulley and then make a loop with it to go over the motor pulley. Now that we have the belt on, you can carefully give the tub a spin to make sure that it's not twisted as it goes around the drum. Once you've made sure it goes around and there's no twists, we can start putting the dryer back together. When you're putting the front panel on, you want to make sure that the drum is on these rollers. So you got to kind of angle it in like this, lift the drum up a little bit. Once you have the wheels on the drum, then you can lift the front panel up and hang it on the top mounting screws. Now we can finish securing the front panel. Now that we have the front panel on, we can secure the two wiring harnesses, the moisture sensor at the bottom, and the door switch harness at the top. To put the control panel in, you want to make sure that these tabs right here go into these openings on each end. Then we can hook up the wire harnesses, the ribbon cables for the control board, and put the screws in. Now we can hook up the ribbon cables. There's two of them. They go around the control board, a big one and a little one. All you have to do is snap them into place. Then we can rotate this whole control board assembly down so we can put the mounting screws back in. When you're putting the top on, you want to make sure that these tabs go underneath this piece right here. To make sure the tabs go under like they're supposed to, you want to set the top down a little bit back from the console and then slide it forward so they lock. we can put the lint filter duct back in. Now we can put the lint filter back in and close the dryer door. Now that we have the blower housing in, we can put the access panel back on. Now that you're done repairing the appliance, you can plug it back in and give it a whirl. Thanks for joining us for another successful repair brought to you by AppliancePartsPros.com. Check out our other repair videos on our site, Facebook, and YouTube.